Hello, welcome viewers. Welcome to Sunday night stream. I didn't stream yesterday because my awesome partner Flynn was here, and of course I wanted to give all my attention to this awesome person who I'm just looking around for my water to find me. To this awesome person who I love and want to spend my life with and all that, so that's important. And then I almost threw water on my MacBook, so that's wonderful. Let me just, I didn't think the bottle would be that full. It's a good thing my Mac is resting on a fan setup, so I can just apply a little towel action here, and nobody died, at least not my Mac. That will be a huge problem. All right, there we go. All done. Okay, so how's your weekend so far? It's been a longer time. Usually I see you on Thursday and then I see you on Saturday night, but now we don't. Let me just pull up my notes real quick so I'm not talking to myself on the monitor instead of talking to the lens. My weekend has been good. Like I said, my partner came over and we just had a really good time. And today we actually worked really hard. For the past months, I have been dealing with a thing. Sorry, there was probably some lag in the stream that I solved now. So it should be good. Alright, so I was dealing with kind of a bug infestation. And first I thought it actually, they were like kind of a wood-eating bug. But I finally contacted like a pest control company. And they asked me to send some pictures, so I did. And they were like, these are not wood bugs. They're like, I know what the English name is. They're called bread bugs in Dutch. And they basically just feast on random food that's lying around. Like, they can be in your food stores, which really sucks. But I quickly realized I often give my cat treats. And I realized maybe there's like some treats under the sofa or something. And my sofa's really heavy. And I try to do my best to vacuum under it. But, you know, I usually am like, I can't lift it. I can't get that far. It's fine. So I got my partner to help me out, and we moved all of the furniture, and we found about a couple hundred kitten candy things, kitty treats, under my TV desk. Like, I have these cabinets that my TV and my PS4 is resting on, and there were like a shitload of candies, treats there, and that's what the bugs are feasting on. So we worked so hard all the afternoon to like deep clean my living room and make sure all that crap is gone and get all the dust gone, and yeah, that was really satisfying. It was really hard work as well, but we worked together and the result is really nice. So no more bugs, no more dust. Gotta work harder to keep it up, I suppose. I should do. But yeah, that's something we talked about before, is asking for help. You know, cleaning is really annoying, and it's so much easier to do with someone, like together with someone. Just even if this person can just get you started and maybe help out with some of the tougher bits, you can kind of switch back and forth. If you get too tired, they can pick it up, and you know, if you have trouble lifting heavy things, they can help out. And yeah, I would say if you have trouble cleaning stuff, ask someone for help. That can really pay off. So for starters, let's talk about the swooshy disco shirt I have on. You know, I usually would wear it to a party, but you know, my stream is a party, and it's very ABBA. It's very, well, it even has like an extra flippy sleeve. It's got double sleeves. So now I'm just like, dancing queen, young and sweet. Oh, she's 37. It's got like all these. It looks purple, but it's basically it's blue and red, but from a distance it's purple. So of course I love purple. So I thought I'd wear a little party shirt, and I also have some makeup on, because it's a Sunday and I wanted to look fancy. Yeah, so I was thinking, what am I going to talk about? There's so much I can talk about when it comes to mental health, and I want to start out by always giving a disclaimer. I realize that it's very important for me to explain to you that I am not a licensed mental health professional. I have no educational background in mental health or psychology. I speak purely from my own experience, and if you or someone you know is in crisis and needs immediate help, please contact emergency services in your region. And if anything I say upsets you or hits you like in a place that's really sensitive, or you find out that like, holy shit, this is what I've been struggling with, and once again, talk to your GP, talk to a professional, get help from people who have an actual education in that. Everything I talk about is what I've learned from therapy, what I have learned from very experienced therapists. In a way, they educated me that way, but once again, I'm not a licensed professional. So everything I say comes with a disclaimer that if you want to apply it to yourself, to your personal life, or even talk to others about this, please keep that in mind. And, take care of your own physical and mental health. That's very important. I just wanted to make sure that that is clear, because I don't want to get sued. Don't sue me, please. Alright, so what are we going to talk about today? Now, I said there's 3 cognitive techniques, but there are actually a lot more. I just wanted to start out with these 3 basics. So let's talk about what is a cognitive technique. What's cognitive? What's cognition? So cognition is essentially has to do with your self-consciousness. It has to do with what you think about yourself and what you think about the world around you, what you perceive, and the judgment you have about those perceptions and the thoughts you have about those perceptions. And cognitive techniques is basically the basis of cognitive behavioral therapy. And the way it's described is you can change your behavior by changing your cognition, but you can also change your cognition by changing your behavior. And usually your feelings are kind of lagging behind. So you want to start out with forming new thoughts, practicing new thought patterns, challenging existing thought patterns, challenging existing behavior. Wow, my English is great today. So changing existing behavior, and that way you start thinking and doing new things, and eventually your feelings are going to catch up, but they're just slow to catch up. So you have to think about your feelings are the hardest to change, then your thoughts, and then your behavior. And I feel like that's the core of cognitive behavioral therapy. Now, the therapy I followed is called schema therapy, which is kind of like a branch off of cognitive behavioral therapy, which applies some additional like modeling and theories, and is basically kind of a framework to understand certain traumas, thoughts, actions, feelings, and that's basically all it is. Like it's a way of understanding something, the way you have models in mathematics and philosophy and physics. It's different ways of looking and describing the same thing. So the basis is still cognitive behavioral therapy. And once again, I'm not a licensed therapist. This is just what I know, what I learned. So what is a cognitive technique? Cognitive technique is a technique, is a skill, is an ability, is something you do in order to change your cognition. And that can be a long-term thing, like you keep practicing this technique over time, your cognition changes. It can also be something you do right away. So you're in a situation that you're really upset, and then you apply this technique in order to either calm down or actually dive deeper. So the latter is something we did a lot in therapy. Something happened that really triggered someone and really upset them. Because we were in this therapeutic setting, we could actually dive deeper into this difficult thing. That's not something I recommend you do at home. Like, don't do it whilst watching this. Don't do it at home. Always do something like that when you are in a safe place with someone who knows how to deal with that kind of difficult mental like mental trauma or those kind of difficult feelings. So if you do like cognitive techniques and you find that, wow, this is really hitting me hard, once again, I encourage you to go to a GP, go to a professional, and tackle it further. It can just be good starting points. But I feel like cognitive techniques can also really help people who are not like at a crisis level, who are just struggling with things, and you're like, what, how could I just approach this differently? So that goes into my next point. I made points today, y'all. I made points. Fucking points for the win. So when you apply cognitive techniques, like I said, you can apply it when you find out you're struggling with something, but you cannot really put your finger on. You can't really figure out why or what's going on. You just know this is difficult and uncomfortable for me, and I don't really know why. But you can also apply it in maybe situations that are more stressful. Let's say that every time you see ball, every time you see a beach ball, very abstract example, but let's say every time you see a beach ball, you find yourself getting scared and stressed, and you don't really know what to do about it, so you're scared and you just avoid beach balls. Say something like that. So you can apply these cognitive behavioral techniques, and I gotta change my example to something that doesn't say balls. Like let me think about an example. Something that's common enough. Balloons, maybe? A balloon fear is a legitimate thing. I mean, probably beach ball fear as well. Like what kind of example could I do that doesn't really hit home for people? I mean, balloons is a legitimate fear, it's a legitimate phobia, and beach balls probably as well. I just don't want to keep saying balls. What's something that freak you out but you don't really see a lot? Like, not necessarily. I'm open to suggestions. Huh. And I also don't want to like make it a trigger for people when they hear me talking about this. So maybe I should switch examples, but I also kind of want to illustrate my point through this example. So what could be something that you see or you find with other people that you might find upsetting, but it's abstract enough that it won't trigger you? Let's say it's like a statue. Yeah, so a statue is something that people might have in their house, or you can see them in public, and it's hard to avoid them unless you completely look at a map of where you're going. So it's also something that if you just travel somewhere, you can run into. So it's a little bit out of your control, and you could ask friends to like put away their statues when you're visiting. But basically it's something that you have to deal with. And let's say this is really upsetting to you for reasons you don't know. So you can substitute this statue example by any situation that might give you anxiety in a moment, that might make you upset, you don't really know why. So the first cognitive technique is also the most powerful and the most like the hardest to get, and also the one that has the most long-term benefit. And that is separate feelings from thoughts. And first time I heard it, I was like, it's so obvious, but yet it's like, it's mind-blowing. So the thing is that a lot of the feelings you have actually come from thoughts you have right before, and those thoughts might stem from trauma. So a lot of the feelings you have are actually caused not by the thing that happened, but the fact that what happened reminds you something that happened before, which triggers all these thoughts, which causes feelings of upset. And that is like just to practice that and think about that requires like a whole lot actual therapy. So I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but it's definitely like a good thing to try to set these things apart. And now I don't know the name in English. In Dutch we have, it's called a G schema, because you have gedachte, which is, don't you have situation maybe? Gedachte, which is thought, gedrag, which is behavior, gevoel, which is feeling. And basically you take a situation. Oh, hey Big Will, welcome to the stream. We are talking about cognitive techniques. This is something that might be familiar to you if you're in therapy, is that take a situation that you're struggling with and you write down, what are the thoughts I'm having, what are the feelings I'm having either before or resulting from those thoughts, what is the behavior I'm actually doing. And just from that, those three things plus the situation, it will create awareness. So the next step would be to take all these observations that you wrote down about yourself and do something else with them. And that step is like, go to therapy for that, because your therapist can actually recommend how you would handle things differently, kind of steps that are fitting for you, because you can change your behavior, you can change your thoughts, you can't really change your feelings, because those, like I said, they lag behind the rest of the things. Because if you change your thoughts, you'll eventually change your feelings. That takes a lot of work. So the first cognitive technique I would say is take the situation that you're struggling with and separate your feelings, your thoughts, and your behavior, and just write that down. Are you in therapy? Not anymore. I've had a lot of therapy, many years of therapy, and I just kind of feel like it was like a study. I felt like I was studying a whole new thing. Maybe like psychology light, psychology for people who are not psychologists. So I definitely learned so much there, and that's where I'm speaking from. Yeah, feeling, thought, behavior, just about a situation. So I had the example of being upset by statues before. So what can you do? You can write, okay, I'm at a friend's. Physical, that's a good one. That's actually the next point. So another cognitive technique is looking for your physical signals. So let's say you wrote down your feelings, like I'm scared, your thoughts, like the statue is ugly, I don't like it, something like that. Behavior is avoiding statues. So now you've separated these things and you can dive into what's going on. Spoilers, it is spoilers, but that's fine. I'm an associative talker and thinker, so I can jump back and forth, that's no problem. So yeah, that is, if you can like separate these things, and we'll actually mention physical signals, which is also a cognitive technique, but you can also definitely apply that in this first example. So you've got separating your feelings, separating your thoughts, what's your behavior, and your physical signals. Racist statues. Actually, good point. Yeah, that might also trigger you just because racism. That. All right, let me take another sip of water. Me and my glitter shirt. You gotta say the fabric is a little scratchy. Not the inside, but like this part, which is, it is kind of wrapping up. Also, I've got red spots here, which is like a result of sitting in the shadow and my skin having radiation damage. So that's great. It was example. I'm fine with statues. I was trying to find an example that was like generic enough. Kind of like how would you describe a situation that you find upsetting? How would you say, like someone asks for a hug, but they don't want a hug from you. Like that's harsh, but you're like, well, it's not okay to touch someone if they don't want you to touch them, obviously. So then you might have feelings like, oh, they hate me. That's actually a thought. That's a good one. So your thoughts will be like, oh, they hate me. Your feelings are like, I'm rejected, I'm sad. So your behavior might be to like avoid them or just get more upset and yell or something. But it actually has to do with rejection from way before in your childhood or whatever. So once again, once you kind of start working with this stuff, go see a therapist. I will repeat that as often as I have to, because I don't want people to think I'm their therapist, because I'm not allowed to do that. I will get sued. I don't know by who, but they're not gonna like it. So yeah, the second one would be to check your physical signals. Is a really good one, and this is something you can apply not only when doing this analysis of feeling, thought, and behavior, but also when being upset. So a really good one is it also applies to panic attacks, but also if you just get really scared or upset, or you're breathing too fast, or you have a lot of anxiety, or you're just in your head too much, or you can't sleep, or just to like go back to your body and think, okay, what am I feeling right now? And if that's already like too vague, you can do the body check, which is, okay, what's my head feeling? What are my shoulders feeling? What are my arms feeling? You just go like every part of your body, and then you try to sense what is there. And sometimes when you have difficulty describing your feelings, that can be a way. So like my chest is tight and my mouth is dry. That's a sign of anxiety. I have a headache, could be a sign of stress. So there's a lot of ways in which feelings manifest in your body that might happen before you actually are aware of something going wrong. Hey Ghibli, welcome to the stream. Yeah, body scan. I like that you know the word, Will. It's awesome. It is in fact called a body scan. So and this is something I also learned when I got really upset, or even had like I was hyperventilating, and they were like, okay, let's just go. The therapist was like, we're gonna go for a walk. And then they were like, let's go do the dishes. I was like, what? It turns out just doing something physical, and something like doing the dishes, actually, you sense water with your hands. There's a lot going on, you have to move. You kind of get out of your mindset and you start just kind of breathing, being more calm. So that is one thing I would say is a cognitive technique, is just get like grounded in your body. And if you have difficulty with the body scan, which could also be an issue for people, then I would say to focus on your 5 senses. So what do I see? What do I hear? What do I smell? And like find your touch, like often like put your hands on the table, put your feet, stamp them on the floor. I'm trying to think what other senses there are. There's taste, so you can like drink something cold, that helps. Let's see, what do we got? Hearing, say, I think I've got all 5 now. Play puzzle games to get up your head, yeah, so those are also cognitive techniques as well. So those are a couple of things you can do to help yourself, how would I say, like change your cognition on things, or get yourself out of this smell. So you can also like maybe smell something nice, that could help so change your cognition of the situation that you're in. And the last point I wrote down is check your people. And this is another it has to do with thoughts. Like, let's say someone rejects you for a hug, and your thoughts are racing like, oh my god, they hate me, they don't like me, I think I'm gross, whatever. Check this kind of thing with people. And checking those doubts you have and those anxieties you have with people that you feel safe enough with to check it, can change your cognition about that. Because you'll be like, okay, I'm thinking right now you hate me. And you say this to them, then they can confirm that this is not true. And just by hearing this kind of this counter argument to your thoughts, you can be like, oh, I guess it's not true. And this is again one of those things that you have to keep doing. First, it's really scary to check, so you have to kind of learn to do that. You have to also kind of figure out when to do it, when not to. But I feel like sometimes I've checked things, and in the long, it was kind of an uncomfortable situation, because they were like, oh, of course not, why are you checking this? Like, they almost acted like it was rude for me to ask. So it can kind of work against you, but especially with people like close friends, like your partner, this is something you can practice on as well. So just to challenge those kind of negative thoughts you're having, actually say those negative things out loud to another person, So they can kind of give you the counter argument, and they can tell you, well, that is not true. And just kind of hearing that counter argument eventually helps you change your mind about the thing you were thinking. And then we're back to this cognitive technique, like changing your cognition, changing your thoughts. So that was a lot of theory. If you have any questions, please let me know. Once again, not a licensed therapist. Also, welcome again, Jubilee. How was your stream? I wanted to come by before, but I had to like eat dinner, so it was also important. Hope you had a good stream. Just oils for smell, yes. I'm just gonna vibe my ABBA shirt. Look at it's a sleeve in a sleeve. What are you gonna do? Vibing with my red hair. You played Raft again. It looks like a really fun chill summer game. I gotta try it out sometime. Did my nails on Friday and they already got damaged because we did so much work today. So I will show you. Nails. Ew. Yeah, I got the sparkly shirt. It is a little like kind of annoying fabric wise, but I just wanted to wear the sparkles. Thank you for the follow, Blacks1K. Thank you for becoming part of the Maniacs. Maniac. Exercise can calm anxiety, racing thoughts, even just like exercise. Yeah, so true, so true. Even just like I've had panic attacks where I just did a bunch of jumping jacks. I was like, if this calms me down, fine, I'll do it. Welcome to the stream, Blacks1K. I hope I'm saying that right. Be Black Sick. Just let me know if I'm saying your name right. It can get scary with this shark and other creatures later in the game. Not as scary as Subnautica. I still have to try Subnautica. It does seem like an open world game, but underwater, which kind of seems like my vibe. So that's fun. Yeah, you do that. Jumping jacks. Exactly. They're like go to panic exercise because you can do them right away. You don't need anything else. Yeah, so that was my rambling about cognitive techniques. There's a lot more you can do, but I just don't want to info dump everything tonight. Blacksek. Alright, cool. That's fine. Yeah, I do make a point to try to learn people's names and remember them. Well, once again, it just kind of helps you ground yourself in your body. And usually when people are panicking, they're really in their head and they're just kind of dissociating. So helping yourself or someone else just get back in their body really helps. So if someone you know you love is panicking, it can really help to just go like, okay, let's go for a walk, or let's just stand up and walk in a circle. Like just go do something. That can really help as well. And yeah, like just holding your hands or like streaming cold water or something like that. There's a lot of things you can do to calm down. Right, does anyone have any more questions? Because otherwise we're gonna switch over to Mass Effect. Because I've been rambling for a while. Like I'm always like worried that I don't want to come across as someone who's a professional. And at the same time I'm like, yeah, I do know a lot of stuff. And give you a tip about going out with girls. I remember talking to Will about this. I would just say like just be honest and be yourself. Because in the long run, just faking it is not gonna help. Girls will notice if you're just trying to be fake. Don't apply any like pickup artist things. Don't do that. Because girls have a pretty advanced radar for bullshit. We can tell. So just be yourself, and if you feel like that's not good enough, then just working on your self-esteem is a big plus. So I would say before you go out with girls, make sure you're the kind of person that you'd want to go out with. I know that sounds a little weird, but I feel like that's the way to go. Of course, my friend. Ah, yes, the infamous friend zone. Which is, yeah, I feel like if you want to sleep with someone, if you want to date them and sleep with them, then it's not cool to like be their friend. Like, of course you want to be friends, but acting like you want friendship when you actually want something more is not cool. So you have to be kind of honest about that. Thank you for joining, Tomcat4680. Thank you for joining the Demaniacs. All right, I think we're gonna switch over to Mass Effect. And let's go play. Let me switch the category over. And let's go.